Hello and welcome to Awakening the Blog. Today I would like to offer some insights about the differences between personal and spiritual relationships. There is a lot of confusion regarding what's a soulmate relationship, what's a twin flame relationship, and what's a personal relationship. And I'm going to divide them so we can consider them from a more encapsulated perspective. This is not really an easy thing to define or encapsulate, as I'm going to do, because we have to appeal to our perception of things. And I have seen that there's a lot of consensus about what a twin flame relationship is, but there's also a lot of confusion because there's a fine line between the soul relationship and the spiritual relationship, which I'm going to make a clear statement of the differences. And so let's start from the personal relationship, which is what most of us really have and know. A personal relationship is one that starts with an attraction, and it could very well be just a physical attraction. There could be other little karma issues behind it, but we can have a personal relationship where there's a lot of power struggles, conflicts. There could be personal relationship where there's a lot of harmony and there's a lot of empathy at the physical realm, but there's no soul connection. But normally the personal relationship is based on ego and the needs of ego. The need for satisfaction, the need to fulfill the desires, the needs, the emotional needs. And therefore, this kind of relationship can be either very well managed if it stays on the realm of physical level, the sexual level maybe. It could not be necessarily very satisfying because there's this heart thing missing. Okay, I know there are personal relationships that involve the soul level too, but I'm just trying to make clear divisions so we can sort of start thinking a little different, and then we can unite the one with the other or one with the other and make more, because relationships are of all sorts. So I'm just going to keep on in this sort of encapsulating mode before we can open up a bigger possibility. And where there's ego, there's normally going to be conflict, power struggles. Mainly when we fall in love, it starts with an attraction and a desire to see in the other what we need to see for that person to fulfill our needs of the perfect couple. When we go to a next step, and when we start feeling this very strong connection with somebody, and this sense of I've met this person before, I have a feeling like I've known this person before, we are entering the level of the soul. And yes, this could be karmic relationship, this could be a soulmate relationship, because if we have a karmic relationship, we have a need to be attracted so we can resolve our issues, okay? And if it's a soulmate, which is very empathetic, we also need an attraction so we can start developing the relationship. But at the soul level, whether it's karmic or whether it's a soul relationship without too much karma involved or pending things from other lives, there's going to be a lot more empathy, this feeling of connectedness, of knowing the person, of sort of seeing through a person and feeling very at ease because we know who we're dealing with. Now, for many people, there's no difference between soulmate and twin flame relationships, but there is. I believe we can have many, many, many soul relationships, soulmate relationships. But twin flame relationships, I believe it's only one. According to my experience, I know there's people that feel different, but according to my experience, this is it. Okay, I'm going to explain with a little of a philosophical point of view. The soul dwells in duality. The soul is part of duality. That's why we are looking for our soul mate, which would be like the other half, as many people want to think. The spirit is not part of duality. The spirit is part of the oneness beyond duality. So for instance, I'm going to show you a diagram that I created when I was writing my second book. And it all came clear to me, at least in the diagram, and then I had to live more and more of the experience to understand more and more of what it came to me. But from the Tao, for those who don't know, the Tao is, we can call it, some people can call it God, some people can call it wholeness or the light. But for instance, as you're going to see in the diagram, the Tao is the oneness, okay? There is no duality, that's spirit. From the oneness, we come into manifestation to this world in duality. Therefore, we have the yin and yang symbol. That's duality. Within the yin, there's a yang, and within the yang, there's a yin. Then, according to my vision, obviously, and my experience, but this could very well be different for other people, and there could be many insights about it, we start this journey of division that we can also see at the cellular level. For the one cell divides and divides in the mitosis and meiosis process to create more cells, and therefore we have the organs and we create the body just by cell division. The similar process, it would be at the soul level. There starts a division where the yin, which it would be the black with a little white dot inside, starts dividing, and since it has a little bit of the yang inside, it creates a new yin and yang, and the yang does exactly the same. The yang is the white with the little black dot in, and it starts its own journey. And therefore, the one soul that was once created from oneness, and it divided to start creation in the manifested physical realm, starts a journey of division. And this journey of division takes us to be very far away from each other, which would be the total dark age, or the journey to the dark side of the moon, or the word for the soul is the journey to the dark side of the soul. Something like that. I don't remember the specific phrase. Dark night of the soul, that's what it is. So each one goes to the extreme where we are very far away from each other, and we experience the most amazing sense of disconnection and abandonment and suffering possible, okay? And we go to those extremes, and it's exactly the same as the yin and yang in Chinese medicine. From one extreme you go to the other, it's a circle and it goes to the other, and when you're very down in the yin cycle, you start going up to the yang, and when you're up in the yang cycle, you start going down to the yin. So in the same way is the spirit. When it divided into the soul, it goes all the way to the extremes of disconnection, of anxiety, suffering, desperation, and then we start the journey back home, when we start going back to who we are, and we start approaching this other part of our inner, our initial creation, in our initial cell creation. But the difference is that when it's like when we are born in total unconsciousness, And so we start the journey of separation, and then we go back into the journey of consciousness, which is the one I show on the way down. And then we connect again into becoming very conscious, very aware of the unity of these two polarities. We are awakened now. And this, when we are together and awakened, it takes us back to the spirit level. And again, down in the journey of division, extreme disconnection, and back to the journey of connection and oneness. This also might go hand in hand with the eras. The Satya Yuga, the Tetra Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and the Kali Yuga, or the Golden Age, the Silver, Bronze, and Iron Age, as the Greeks have said. It is all, fractal. It's a fractal reflection of life. And so at the soul level, there's going to be many possibilities. At the soulmate relationship level, there could be a karmic soulmate relationship where you're going to have struggles with your soulmate, but there's a strong connection inwardly. And it could be a very empathetic soulmate relationship where you just get along and feel wonderful with that person. You have a sense of peace because it's a feeling of familiarity. At the twin flame level, I think it's the most powerful connection we can ever experience. And my sense with this is that the twin flame is actually the only one that can reflect us and touch us to the deepest core of ourselves. It touches us so deeply to the core of ourselves, which is unconditional love, obviously, is light and love. And it helps us awaken that sense of experience of unconditional love. Unconditional love is not what we think it is. We've been conditioned to believe one thing about unconditional love. We need to experience at a higher level this unconditional love in order for us to understand. I cannot really put so much in words what the experience of unconditional love is. I've tried to express through words in the twin flame relationship video blogs before what I had experienced about unconditional love. And at the soul, at the spirit level, the twin flame is the first drop of the spirit. From there we divide into the soul realm, and then we divide into the personal realm, which is the ego. And so at the twin flame level, we can have we need to have attraction, obviously, because we need a reason to unite, and attraction is the chemistry that takes us to that. But as we start developing, we start finding something higher and higher and higher, and unconditional love is something that goes beyond our wildest imagination, I believe. That's the major reason for twin flame meeting. And we need to anchor that energy. There could be also sexual attraction in twin flames, obviously, but the main purpose of twin flame relations is not exactly the sexual desire. Not exactly. There could be, because we are still manifesting in human bodies and we have our sexuality, but the main purpose of twin flame relationship, which is the first drop of the spirit into the manifested level, into the soul level. So it would be the highest expression of the soul mate relationship is a twin flame. But you can have many soulmates, you can only have one twin flame. So it is a spiritual relationship. What do you understand by that? What do you understand by soul? What do you understand by spirit? And in what way are you mixing that with our manifested level? There is a connection, obviously. We are one, right? We are one from the earth to heaven and from heaven to earth. So the mundane, physical is a part of that expression, but it's the densest, lowest vibration. The spirit is the highest vibration. So in order for us to understand spiritual relationships, we need to be living and understanding the spiritual realms. We need to open up to the spiritual realms. And then we will understand the difference between the spiritual and the just personal, physical relationships. There is a difference. And it comes by this sense of interconnectedness. And the interconnectedness can have many levels, the soul level and the spirit level. At the spirit level, through this first drop of manifestation into duality, which is the highest soul, and I'm repeating this, we not only embrace the twin flame, this is just a reunion with our essence, but when we are talking about spirit, we're talking about oneness. This is the bridge to oneness. The unconditional love that we experience in twin flame is not directed to one person. It starts with that person, but then it permeates to wholeness. And that's the amazing, wonderful thing that teaches, at least for me, I'm talking about my experience and what I have understood about the twin flames. There are many other possible ways to look at it and to reach to the same conclusion, yet this is something that I really wanted to sort of bring as an insight, okay? Once we are with a twin flame, we anchor unconditional love on this plane, and it's not just for the twin flame. The unconditional love starts permeating through the twin flames to everybody. That's so full of grace. And I think that's one of the most wonderful things that twin flame relationships can bring to this planet, and it's happening now. So I hope, you know, I've given you some insights. I've tried to divide so people can get a closer idea, but you know, the boundaries between one and the other are very fine. So we need to be very careful before we assess, or before we decide to say, oh, this is a twin flame, or this is a soulmate, or this is just a plain physical, personal relationship. We need to be in contact with ourselves, and we will have the experiences that allows us to understand what kind of relationship we are having. So I hope this has been of help. Any questions or comments, please do them directly in the blog. In the description area of the video, I have a link directly to the blog that I invite you to subscribe. I invite you to participate with your ideas, with your questions, with your experiences, because your experiences also nurture other people that come into the blog to watch the videos and read whatever I post there. So thank you very much, and I'll see you some other time. Bye.